for solo. That pink jersey team.
All right, so we're stage 2 of Tour of America's Dairyland, and on my left are the double national champion, U23 national crit champion, and elite national champion, the boys from Caden Cycling, Lucas Burgoyne and Luke Fetzer, and we're going to be chilling at the back, having a good time, tail gunning, saving energy the first half of this race. And here's what that looks like. Couple pedal strokes coming down the hill into corners 2 and 3. You can carry a ton of speed, and if you're confident, you can carry that speed into these corners at a much faster rate than the field is doing. In fact, I get a little bit wrong here. You see I had to squeeze a little bit of brakes because I was coming in a little bit too fast into these riders in front of me. Perfect timing is when you stop pedaling and can coast all the way right into the back of the rider in front of you without having to touch brakes, without having to pedal. Lucas is doing the same.
Lucas, bring me up there, man, to the front.
And we're having a good time back here. Heart rate's in the 140s, even though we're averaging something like 30 miles an hour. This is the benefit of tail gunning. If you can carry your speed through the corners, that means you are preserving your momentum through the rest of the course. Think of it this way. If you go an extra 2 miles an hour through these corners, you don't have to spike up the power to get back up to speed. Let's look at this corner, for example. Get the timing much better. I'm not on the brakes. I'm not on the gas. I'm just coasting, and I'm coming into these riders in front of me. And now, as we approach this uphill, because I've carried a lot more speed, I don't have to spike up to 1,000 watts or something in order to get back up to speed. And if you're fighting for wheels, you're not tail gunning, you're not benefiting from that. You're going to burn yourself out real fast.
Yeah, you can rest for so long back there.
And we're talking about it right here. Luke and I were talking about the benefit of...
Welcome to the Sprinter's Lounge.
We're talking about the benefit of tail gunning as we're tail gunning in the race. We're having a good time back here. And that begs the question, why not just tail gun the entire race? Well, it can be the most efficient way to navigate a course when you're riding in the peloton, assuming that you have a lot of confidence in the corners and you can carry your speed through corners faster than the group. But it's definitely not the fastest way to navigate a course full stop. The fastest and most efficient way to navigate a course is with a consistent, slow is smooth, smooth is fast effort. So let's see what that looks like from Will's perspective at the front of this race. Thanks again for coming on, Will.
I was not tail gunning. It is very efficient to tail gun. You get great lines into corners and have the benefit of drafting, but on this course it's a little more technical, and I wanted to be a little bit farther up. There's like this buffer zone of 5 to 10 riders at the front where you do still get clean runs at corners and you're rolling through a little bit smoother, and really the whole purpose of tail gunning is to get a nice smooth line through the corner where you don't have to accelerate out of it. You don't get hit by that accordion effect, and up at the front you can get that too. But another advantage to being up at the front is this, which is the ability to respond to moves. And here there's a group of 3 riders off the front, and they've got quite a gap. So right now I'm just going to bridge across to them and do my best to get into that breakaway that I deemed threatening.
Oh, just a ho-hum, just a quick 450 watts. Actually, let's look at your Strava. What was it? What does it take to solo bridge a 15-second gap in the pro field? It takes 431 watts average and 445 watts normalized for over 5 minutes. Yeah, with still an hour left of racing in this pro crit. What a crazy effort, Will. You're a modest guy, but I think people have to understand how gnarly of an effort this was. How were you feeling when you finally made the bridge?
Oh, dude, I'm going to be completely honest. Even before I made the bridge, like you saw my heart rate, just that attack on the start-finish stretch, my heart rate was like 181 beats per minute, and it didn't really go down that much from there, all the way until I got to the back of this break where, man, I was just in the gutter. Like I wanted to quit this race so many times in that 5 minutes, and once I got onto the back of the break, it didn't ever feel better. Like we were still rolling at 300 to 400 watts, just like sitting on. So I took as few pulls as possible for as long as I could get away with it.
And I think that this is a good opportunity to talk about breakaway etiquette. By the way, first of all, like, congratulations on making it. This was the do or die move. Like, the last thing you want is to get halfway there and then die a million deaths and then get reabsorbed by the peloton. So you've made it, but now you have to recover. And should they allow you to recover? Like, how's that dynamic? This is really interesting to me. And I'm not as skilled of a breakaway rider, and I'm also a sprinter, so I have much less leeway when I do stuff like this. But tell me your thoughts on breakaway etiquette. Are you allowed to skip poles?
Yeah, man, it's bike racing, so anything's fair game. Like, if they wanted to attack me, I couldn't have gotten upset with that. But I think having 4 riders in this break is going to help everybody out. Although these guys all have teams back in the peloton, and like, they know I'm strong, but they don't need me there. Like, their teams are going to shut stuff down back there, and that's going to be fine for them. Really, getting rid of me would have been good for them, but they know I'm going to pull through at some point. So it's really just a play it by ear kind of situation. And if you're a good sprinter or the strongest rider in the breakaway, you can just, intimidate people out of the breakaway if you want to.
Yeah, so you have continued to skip poles here, which I think is fine. Like, I think this is okay. I think if you did this for 30 minutes and then started attacking them, like, you're going to make enemies.
Yeah.
And by the way, they wouldn't let 30 minutes go by. If you skip poles for, I think 5 minutes, I think they would start attacking you and trying to get rid of you. But you have to imagine a breakaway is almost like a team. Like, you guys are not teammates, but in this moment, you're acting as if you're teammates because they need you and you need them for this to be successful. Like,
yeah.
if you just were dead weight at the end, it's not just that they're afraid of you out sprinting them at the end of this race. It's also one less rider to push at the front through the wind, and that is a few extra seconds of being in the draft for them. And you're getting one more look right here from the German rider, and this might be the end of the the sitting at the back for you. But I think that you kind of maximize the amount of time sitting at the back. But it's such an interesting question because it's different for everybody. It depends on how much more racing there is left. It depends on what kind of rider you are. Like, I feel like when I do this, which, by the way, I don't do this at national level races. I do this at local level races. Join a breakaway, solo bridge a breakaway, and I immediately get attacked and shut down because I make videos about me being a sprinter, and I think people don't like having a sprinter in the breakaway. But if you're a breakaway rider in a breakaway, they're like, you're an asset here, Will. Like, they're like, we're going to need you to recover for a minute. We're going to need you to start taking pulls because that's going to increase the chances of this breakaway being successful. But you guys just fall right into rotation. And in case you're wondering, as we fast forward here, in case you're wondering what it takes, we talked about the power requirements to solo bridge a 15-second gap. Now let's talk about what it takes to ride a breakaway for over an hour at this level. In a pro field, national level, U.S. crit race, you did, after that crazy effort to solo bridge, you did 344 watts average, 377 watts normalized for over an hour. And that brings us into the final lap of this race. Dude, and I cannot believe you guys were playing nice all the way until 1,700 meters to go. We're coming through, one lap to go, positioned well. What are you thinking, Will? Are you going to win this race?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Honestly, we were just running scared. The gap to the peloton never really got over like 20 seconds for any extended period. And I think this last lap or two, it was like down to 10, down to 7 seconds, up to 13. But the whole time we were like, we have to keep our foot on the gas this whole last lap. But also I'm thinking, like, where do I want to be in the finish? And I was pretty happy with this spot. Like, Keegan just took his last pull. Severin, the rider from 5411 up there, is pulling pretty hard. He was always dropping us through this corner. He was sending that corner. And then Patrick here, he's got a good kick. I know he's just going to hit it as hard as he can for that last little half a lap just to make sure we don't get caught. So I'm super happy in this position. And my goal was just kick out of that last corner. I felt like I was one of the stronger riders here. My legs finally came back around. So right now I'm stoked on what's about to happen.
You did have to solo bridge. Let's not forget. I don't know if that's going to take any of the snap out of your legs at the end. Also, to me, and this is might be different for you. We're completely different riders, you and I. I would want to be at the back of this group. But all of a sudden, this is Keegan from IDQ comes around with a super early one, looking pretty good. Will, what do you think?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to tuck into Patrick's draft. He hadn't done a full gas effort, so I'm thinking this gap's closing down right now. Unfortunately, right into this last corner, it actually opens up a good bit. Patrick doesn't take the corner quite as hard, and so I'm oh, I got to kick right now, and I come around, but that is a big gap to close in 150-ish meters, even though I had a pretty good kick for how hard we had gone, and I sustained it. I thought might have caught him, but he had the legs, and he had the gap, so Keegan took the victory. I was lucky enough to get second on the day, so that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, probably bittersweet. I mean, being in a breakaway, you're thinking about first the whole time, but it's a result you should be proud of at this level of racing for sure. And for a second there, I thought that Patrick was going to inadvertently lead you out while closing the gap down to Keegan, but unfortunately that did not happen. Thanks as always for coming on, Will, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.